In question E, we have a double square root equation. Now, these equations require us to square out the square root twice. So we have to be able to do that by isolating one of the square roots at a time. So my first step is I'm going to just make this into 3x minus 10, and that's equal to 1 plus the square root of 3x plus 7. Okay, so at this point, I can square both sides, and that will eliminate the square root on the left-hand side. However, when I square this side, I'm still going to be left with an extra square root. So in this case here, when we square both sides, I get 3x minus 10 is equal to, when I distribute this all out, I end up with 1 plus 2 square root 3x plus 7 plus, when I do root 3x plus 7 times root 3x plus 7, I end up with 3x plus 7. So at this point, we need to isolate this square root here. So we're going to solve everything for that square root, and then we're going to get rid of that square root by squaring. So nicely, this happens to be that the 3x's cancel out nicely, and then I'm going to subtract negative 8 from both sides. So these two together, I'm just going to do minus 8, and I'm going to end up with negative 18 equals 2 square root 3x plus 7. So when I divide both sides by 2, I end up with negative 9 is equal to the square root of 3x plus 7. Now at this point, I know that my solution is going to be extraneous because we cannot have a square root equaling negative, but we'll follow through with the solution anyways. To get rid of that square root, we're going to square both sides, and I end up with 81 is equal to 3x plus 7. So at this point, the solution is going to be extraneous. But when I solve this out, I'm going to end up with subtract 7 from both sides, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I end up with x is equal to, that's going to be 74 over 3. They don't share any common factors, so that's about, that looks like it's going to be about 24 2/3. Okay, so when we test this out though, when we do our test, we know that this is going to be extraneous. So I'm going to do my test. So I'm going to end up with square root of 74 minus 10, so 74 over 3 times 3, minus the square root of 74 plus 7, and that's going to be equal to 1. This is going to be square root 64 minus square root 81. 8 minus 9 equals 1. Well, we know that negative 1 is not equal to 1, so we know that this is extraneous.